Hello and welcome friends. Wish you all are doing well and you are watching me on Knowledge Versatile. You, the learners of spoken English, often get an advice that listen and speak. Listen and speak. It means listening is a great part of learning spoken English. If you want to be skilled in spoken English, you'll have to listen English words, English sentences. Where from will you listen? At present, you are watching my videos, you are listening to my words. Sometimes you watch news channels and listen to that English words and English sentences. You listen to English news readers. Sometimes you watch movies and you listen to the words spoken there. But there is a great part we are missing. The great part is, do you understand when you listen to English? Yes. Ask yourself, do you understand when you listen to English? If not, then there is no meaning of listening to English words and sentences. It means there is no utility of listening to English words and sentences. You want to be an English speaker, that's why you are listening to English words, English sentences. But if you do not understand a single word, sometimes one or two words you are understanding, those are completely useless. Wastage of time. Wastage of time, I say. You must have that much knowledge that you will listen and understand. At present, you are listening to my words. Normally, the way I speak, the common learners, they understand everything. It's usual. But if you cannot understand, then first of all, you'll have to learn the basics of English. You'll have to understand first, then you will be able to speak. If you do not understand, there is no meaning of listening. So listening will be part of spoken English only when you will understand, only when you will listen and understand. So keep it in mind that without understanding, it's quite impossible to learn spoken English. If you think that if I listen regularly, then I will guess something and I will understand. That's not the thing. Yes, more or less, you will make some guesses and you will understand to some extent, but those are not helpful. In case of learning spoken English, you'll have to understand what others say. You'll have to understand clearly what others say. You may not understand some words or some constructions, but those are different things. Some words may be uncommon, some constructions may be uncommon. But more or less, you'll have to understand clearly what the speakers, what the English speakers are saying. What they speak, you'll have to understand. So, to understand, you'll have to do some homework. You'll have to do some green room work. It means that table work. You'll have to read, write, and make some common sentences and to speak them. Those are needed. Those table work are needed. After doing some table work, then you will be familiar with some basic English words and basic English constructions. You'll have to know that beforehand. Then only it will be possible for you to understand when someone else is speaking. So, if you understand my words at present, it means more or less you know better English. More or less you know better English now. Continue listening. Now continue listening. It will be helpful. And if you don't understand what I am saying, if you don't understand my words, my speeches, so leave it. Leave listening. You'll have to do some table work. You'll have to do some reading and writing work. You need a teacher. You need a teacher who will teach you the basic grammars, the basic constructions, the basic sentences, the basic sentence patterns you needed. Suddenly someone thinks that I'll be a good speaker and start listening English YouTube channels, English news, English movies, and thinks that after a few months, after a few weeks, I'll be a good speaker. Not at all. Not at all. Without understanding, if you listen to English words and English sentences, there is no utility. There is no use of listening to that kind of English. So those who are understanding my words, welcome. Listen to me carefully, listen to me regularly, and try to speak the way I am speaking. It's not that you'll have to speak absolutely the way I'm speaking. You can adopt your own technique. You can adopt your own method. But more or less you'll have to speak. If you speak same sentences, same words regularly, it will be helpful for you. Because the words will be common, the constructions will be common, the sentence patterns will be common, and your subconscious mind will be loaded with that kind of words, sentences and the patterns. And when you needed those patterns, when you needed those words, that constructions, those will be supplied very soon without thinking. It means spontaneously, and you will be fluent. So remember one thing, that same words, same constructions repeatedly again and again. If you speak, if you listen, then those words and those sentences, those expressions will be so common to you that you won't have to think twice before speaking. You won't have to construct them before speaking. Now you are listening to me. This is very much helpful for you. But in my previous video, I advised you that listening to me for 15 minutes and speak for 1 hour. So this should be the ratio. Listening for 15 minutes, speak for 1 hour. So this should be the ratio. Even it is more important to speak. Whether you listen for 5 minutes, whether you listen for 1 minute, you have to speak for 1 hour. You have to speak for 1 hour. And again, it's not that you are speaking for 1 hour, it means that you are speaking a book of this much thick. It's not that. You can speak 10 sentences, 20 sentences, 50 sentences for 1 hour. And again, it's not always that without watching you will have to speak. You can take the words, you can take the sentences in your hand written on a paper, and if you forget them, have a look and speak. There is no harm in that. Most of all is that you'll have to speak. This is very much important, that you are speaking. Sometimes you are watching and speaking, and sometimes without watching you are speaking. If you are influenced, if you are convinced with my words, then start speaking. Start speaking. And my advice to those who don't understand but continue listening, you are wasting your time. Don't do this. Do some homework. Do some very basic work. Make some simple sentences. And after making 10 or 20 sentences, speak them out. Read them out. And on the other hand, not only listening and speaking, you'll have to make some questions. You'll have to make some questions. Questions with the help of WH word. The answers of those questions will be subjective. It means the detailed answer. You know the WH words? Who, which, whom, what, where, how. With the help of this WH word, you'll have to make questions. And the answers will be descriptive. And again, there is another part of question that is called tag question. And there is another part of question that is called objective type question. The answers will be yes or no. So keep it in mind that if you do not understand, don't listen to English. It is your time to do some table works. Keep it in mind. I'm not extending my words too much. I'm concluding here. Love you all. Bye.